Hello, and welcome to the Renegade Gamers channel, the Renegade Gamer. This is a review on Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain, Konami's newest game. Sorry about that. And basically Kojima's last game that he's making for him. I spent probably a good 170, maybe 200 hours in this game. And while I'll get to the story later, I'm just going to say this really bluntly, the story really didn't catch me that much. But what did catch me in this game was the gameplay. Before I start, I also want to mention one thing. I didn't play any of the online stuff on this game, and I've heard there's issues with it, but I've also heard a lot of people saying fun with it. So I don't really have anything to say on it that much with the FOBs and everything. What I will say is that the core gameplay of it is extremely fun. It is a wide open world game, and assaulting military bases, out camps, and fortresses is a lot of fun because you can approach it in a lot of different ways. You can go with the normal route, which is stealth, or you can go full out assault on there if you want. And the game offers you enough variety and tools to your availability that it doesn't really matter how you go about approaching it. Either way works. Now, the Fox engine does take into account what you do, and it takes, for instance, it takes into account what you do and basically makes countermeasures for it. For instance, if you are a sniper, or if you like to snipe a lot of guys, eventually the enemies will start wearing helmets, and it becomes a lot harder to snipe people. If you like to use sleeping agents, then eventually they will start wearing gas masks too, so that they won't be able to fall asleep. And there's many other things that they will start doing. It's a lot of fun. You have a lot of, like I said, you got a lot of options. You can take lethal weapons, you can take non-lethal weapons, you can call in a helicopter strike, you could drop a tank on somebody, which is kind of funny. You can drop a supply box on certain characters, on enemies, and that's always fun. It knocks them out. And then you have the buddy system, which you can carry a buddy into battle with you. For spoilers' sake, I won't mention what the buddies are exactly. I'll talk about D-Horse because that's the first one you get. That's really no spoiler. But the buddies all have are unique to each other. They do overlap in some areas, but they're unique and they're all useful normally. I mean, the only one I didn't really find it useful is the most expensive buddy, which is well, I'm just going to say it's a mech. It's a gear, and it's the least useful of them that I found. However, that is the most versatile of all the buddies. So take with that what you will. Some people will find use for it. I, for the most part, didn't. There's a few areas I did. The game has also driving mechanics. You can drive cars around it. It's stiff. It's not really that great, but the game makes up for many other aspects. It has a day and night system. It has weather that comes about, sandstorms, rain, fog. It also has excuse me. It also has gathering stuff such as flowers, animals, soldiers that you can transport back to your mother base, and these things actually have a fairly good amount of use because all the stuff that you get, you can acquire more money. GMP is the currency in the game, but you can acquire more money, and the money you acquire, you can use it to build on more of the mother base, or do more R&D for more weaponry, equipment, tools that you would use for your place and everything. And it all works well, and Kojima did an excellent job on this whole world building aspect, this whole open world game. That being said, to be honest with you, I kind of wish this wasn't an open world game. I do like it, but open world game and Metal Gear are two things that I don't really think they should have went together. But for the sake of argument, it's still a great game in that aspect. However, there was a few things here that kind of took a hit. The story took a definite hit. The characters took a definite hit. There's no codec. Everything's set over the radio, and you don't really get anything else in that matter. However, if you want the honest opinion, it was like that in Peace Walker as well. This game basically took everything from Peace Walker and Portable Ops and put it into an open world, pretty much, and it works. It does work really nice. The environments look good. The graphics the environments look good. The graphics are great. Sound design's fine. Music. While I'm not a big fan of this game's music in general, it does have an awesome, what's the word I'm looking for? It has a bunch of 80s music in it, and I really do like listening to all of those songs. Weird Science, I'm sorry, not Weird Science, it's Blinded Me with Science, The Man That Sold the World, many other tracks that I really did enjoy. But for everything that they did right, the story is where this thing kind of goes wrong. Now, don't get me wrong, the story in the game isn't horrible. It's very lackluster, though. And I guess I'm just going to go into spoilers. I guess I'll do a score right now, and this score is purely based on gameplay alone. I'm going to give it 2 scores, really, and then I'll kind of figure out what I think about it at the end. For gameplay aspects, I'm going to have to give the game a 5 out of 5. It's really a pleasure to play. It runs smooth. The animations are great. There's a lot you can do in this game. You have a lot of options to play around with, and you can customize out the ass. I mean, you can customize your base, your buddies, you can customize Snake. You can customize, if you decide to go in as a random generic soldier, you can customize him. Whatever kind of equipment you want to work with, you can customize your guns. Lots and lots of customization, okay? Loads of customization. So, yeah, I would have to give it a 5 out of 5. The gameplay is absolutely phenomenal. And it's a shame because I kind of wish this had a better story to go with it. As for the structure of the missions, this is how the story is told through missions, I really wish it wasn't like that, but it is. There's really nothing to do about it. Now, story-wise, from this moment on, I'll be talking spoilers. Okay. See, I gave you a chance. The beginning of the game is really interesting. It really does come out with this horrific attack upon a hospital. It shows Snake in a bed. He's lost an arm. He's lost he's lost an arm. He's had a piece of shrapnel shoved in through his head, and you get up. You're having to slog across the floor because your muscles have atrophied. You're struggling to get your standing and everything else, and this soldier named Ishmael is helping you through the entire thing. And it's a great presentation of what the game has. It really does set the mood right there at the beginning. That whole first 45 minutes to an hour of the game is incredible. The story looks like it's going to really go in a really dark place. Unfortunately, there's only about 2, maybe 3 missions that really retain that. Quiet Exit, which goes there. That's mission 44 or 45. I think it's 45. And then also, what is that mission? Shining Light in the Dark or something like that. I forgot what it's called exactly. It's a mission where Snake is forced to kill about 24. I think it's about 24 of his own staff because they're infected with the virus. It's a virus. They're infected with the vocal parasite cord virus thing, whatever. And the only other mission that I really felt that way about was the Man on Fire mission, where you go down there, you find all the kids. They got the vocal cord parasite. It was kind of creepy. And those are the only 3 missions I really felt that rose to that same area that the very first mission had. And they had the same tone and really kept it at. The rest of the missions really didn't. This game's story has a lot of filler, and to be honest with you, it really doesn't go anywhere with the filler. The characters. I'm going to talk about Punished Venom Snake in a little bit, but for now I want to talk about Quiet. Quiet is the only character in this game that I actually kind of connected with in a weird way, and it's amazing that I had any connection to this character because she has almost no dialogue in this game, and it's mostly through interactions during the gameplay. She was the buddy I liked to use the most. It wasn't about the sex appeal. I liked the fact that I had a secondary person to help me out with sniping and getting my ass out of trouble if I needed to. And plus, she's a damn good sniper. There was many times that I would call her, have her go recon a base, and by the time I got there, she had to have the base asleep or had taken out most of them. It was insane. The dog was nice too, and D-Walker was okay, and D-Horse was really useful at the beginning of the game, and I kind of quit using him after that. But Quiet was the one I used most of the time throughout the game. And that was she was interesting in a lot of areas, and really is the only character I feel that's almost fully realized in the game. She still is not completely fully realized, but she's the only character I kind of felt like had an arc. She was kind of a mercenary killer at the beginning, and then you saw that there was a more humane side to her as it went along. And by the end, she makes the decision to speak, even though she knows it's going to infect, or she knows that it's going to cause the vocal cord parasites to activate, which is a whole nother ballgame. I'll get into it later. But she really is the only character I felt that was really realized in this game at all. Skullface, he was there. I did kind of like his monologue he had in the Jeep, but it was a 10-minute ride with talking and then a song and then talking again. It wasn't really well paced, but it was kind of interesting to see where his motivations were. Unfortunately, most of the motivations you finally find are in the recordings, the tape recordings. Kaz was kind of interesting. He kind of got dropped after a while. Ocelot's completely out of character. Liquid, or what's he calling? Eli. Honestly, I did not like him at all. He really didn't do anything. I couldn't understand why the hell he was pissed off. And Psycho Mantis was in this game, and they give an explanation, but it doesn't really make sense when you think about it. And then Code Talker was boring as hell to listen to. I know some people may really enjoy that character. The only things I liked with him was the hamburger tapes with Kaz. The rest of the time I couldn't stand to hear the guy talk. He put me to sleep. I mean, and don't get me wrong, I have Indian in my blood. It's just that, I don't know, it's something about the way he would deliver his lines that was really boring. So I kind of guess I went through most of the characters there. There's not really that many others I can think of. Oh, yeah, I can think of a couple others here. Otacon. I'm sorry, not Otacon. Huey. Huey was interesting in a lot of ways. They took a character from Peace Walker that was, for the most part, likable, and really made him a villain out of this character. And Christopher Randolph does an excellent job of this. He throughout the entire game, he's constantly denying everything that he's done. And let's not, break my bones here. Huey did a lot of horrible fucking things. None which, let's run the list down. Just things I can remember. He was responsible for the attack on Mother Base 9 years ago. By doing a whole nuclear inspection thing. And then he left with Skullface, according to him, against his will. Bullshit. Put his son in a Metal Gear that they built. His infant son. Killed his wife, Strangelove, and closed her by closing her up in the computer AI pod, the mammal pod from Peace Walker. Mutated a new strand of the vocal cord parasite and released it upon your men, and helped rebuild the big giant Metal Gear Salampus, whatever the fuck it's called, the Mary Sue Metal Gear. And yeah, he's a bastard. But the thing about him is that I find it interesting the way that he's presented, because nothing that he does in the game really does come off as him seeing himself as a bastard. He sees himself as a victim through the entirety of the game, and yet every point in time he's proven to be a fucking bastard. He's ruthless in a lot of his actions, but he justifies it in his head. There's really not a lot of doubt in my mind that Huey's completely insane. And it's no wonder that, we were told backstory for him in Metal Gear Solid 2, and how he almost drowned Emma. It's kind of easy to see how this character could do that from this game. It's one of the few things I felt that this game really did right. It got the naive character from Peace Walker to the monster that he really is in Metal Gear Solid 2. The one particular scene that stands out to me, and that is the trial scene where Kazuhita Miller is pretty much running a trial against Huey, and you hear all the guards in the background, kill him, kill him, kill him, and he comes at the Venom and he's like, take him out. Huey's still proclaiming his innocence the entire time. He gets out of there in the boat and rolls let loose. It's a really powerful scene, and it really does work quite well. Let's see, that's all the characters I can think of, except for two. First character is Major Zero. And Zero doesn't appear in the game. He's only on the tape recordings. And to be honest with you, the guy does a perfect job with the role. I can't remember the dude's name. But he's a really great actor. He does a perfect role. Does it perfectly. And from this game, we understand that Zero has a lot of has done quite a bit to get everything set up, and has handed it over to Donald Anderson. And he was struck by Skullface with some kind of disease or something. I'm not really sure. It doesn't really elaborate on that much in that area. And probably the strongest scene, well, I wish it was a scene. The strongest tape for me is the one, there's two of them. The one with Paz, which I think is a really powerful tape, and really does show off how Major Zero is and what he's willing to go through to do is what he wants. And then the one where he goes to meet with, or goes to Venom Snake and, Naked Snake, John. Okay, he goes to meet John when he's in his coma, and it's very sincere what he's telling him. I buy it. I just wish it would have been in the game. It's all tape recordings. It's there, but I think it would have been some powerful scenes that we could have saw. Which brings me to the main character in this game. Okay, here we go. Naked Snake, or Big Boss. He's in this game about, well, I mean, if you roll back and you think about it, he's probably in the game maybe about 35 minutes tops. You don't know it's him at the time. But the main character of this game is not Big Boss. The main character of this game is Venom Snake. And spoilers, Venom Snake is not Big Boss. Well, he is Big Boss, but he's not Big Boss. It's so confusing. Well, it's not confusing. It's actually pretty simple. In Ground Zeroes, at the end of it, when the explosion happens, the medic in that game jumps in front of Snake, and the medic is blown to pieces. He gets a piece of shrapnel in his head, loses an arm, and they do reconstructive surgery on his face, and to make it look like Big Boss, or Naked Snake, or John, whichever you want to call him. And when he wakes up after hypnotherapy, is what they say anyway. They say he is Big Boss. This is the big thing that you find out in Mission 46, The Man That Sold the World. the big revelation that you haven't been playing as the big boss the entire game. You've been playing as the medic from Ground Zero. That doesn't really bother me. This is the weird thing about this character, okay? This does not bother me a lot. It does still fit in the mythos. Not the mythos. It fits with the legend. It fits with the timeline, I guess, what I'm getting at. It does all fit. And to be honest with you, I kind of suspected that we weren't playing as a big boss from the very beginning. The big tip-offs were, for me, the big tip-offs were, he had a piece of shrapnel on his head, which in Metal Gear Solid 4 he didn't. And he had lost an arm, which in Metal Gear Solid 4 I was pretty sure he didn't. Although he was wearing gloves, so I guess he could have. But you know, I was kind of. There was another big tip-off was the fact that Ishmael says, "I'm you," or you're talking to yourself. And those were all pretty good tip-offs. And I kind of suspected that this wasn't actually Big Boss from that point. Now I wasn't sure, but I kind of suspected. And as the game went on, it became more and more obvious that to me anyway, it became more and more obvious that I wasn't controlling Big Boss. It was somebody else that looked like him. And it didn't really bother me at all. It didn't bug me, you know, even when I found out the ending and it was confirmed that I was right. It still didn't bother me. Now, I didn't know who the hell it was, you know, but it didn't bug me. I don't know. It's kind of weird. I feel like I should be bothered by that, but I guess at some point during this game, I just quit caring about the main character or what was going on in the story most of the time, because there's a lot of filler in the game, and it's frankly not that. There's some interesting aspects here, but once they you brought in the vocal cord parasite thing, I kind of lost some interest in it. It was way too out there, even for Metal Gear, for me. And I mean, I can, you know, it's funny because we had nano machines in Metal Gear Solid and 2 and in 4. It wasn't in 3 because 3 was in the 60s. And that never really bothered me, the whole nano machine thing. You know, nano machine, son, but that never really bothered me. I know it bugs some people. It was something futuristic and it didn't really bother me at all. But the parasite, the vocal cord parasite thing was just so weird and out there that I was sitting there, I was like, really? Hideo? Really? This is strange even for your standards, man. I don't know. It was one of those things. I was like, well, okay, whatever. Vocal cord parasites, yeah, sure. And it just never bothered me. I mean, you know, the fact you're not playing as Big Boss the entire game didn't bug me. Really the things that bugged me in the game were just, like I said, I thought the story was very lackluster. I thought that there was not a lot of characterization in this game. That being said, Venom Snake did actually have quite a bit of characterization. I point to paths as a huge part of that. That was actually done very well. It was very subtle. Because when you're first presented with Paz being alive, it's basically a gut punch. You're like, what the hell? Because we saw her die, and then we see another scene where she's actually alive, and you come to the realization that this is all hallucination for him. That this is something that he regrets that had happened, and wish it had not happened. And it's presented very well and done very well. And it was one of the points of the game that I actually really enjoyed. I enjoyed going and finding the photos for Paz, which also the wandering soldiers that have the photos. It's obvious if you're going after them, when you go after them, upon reflecting upon it anyway, that these are ghosts that you're going after. They move weird. They act completely different than any other enemies in the game. It's very obvious that these characters are ghosts, I guess. But that's not the only thing. We had some other character development here and there for him. Quiet, like I said, is the only other character I saw that really got developed a lot. And Huey had some too as well. I don't know. I noticed it's kind of all the over the map review, but this game is really hard to review. To be honest with you. Like I said, the story's lackluster. The gameplay is awesome. You can really, you can really go into a lot of stuff with just firepower if you want. And I don't know. It's strange, man. It's really strange. Snake is a badass that never talks. That being said, I thought Kiefer Sutherland, when he did get lines, was doing a pretty good job. But you're just kind of standing there as a mute, almost a silent protagonist, almost. And it's just one of those things that kind of added to my suspicions that he was actually not Big Boss, because Big Boss had a personality, and Venom Snake got kind of a personality. But he does have a good characterization of his character. Like I said, I point back to Paz. I don't know. It was okay. It's not. When I think about Metal Gear Solid, the series, my mind usually goes to either the first game or the third game. Those two are the ones I enjoy the most. The second game is gotten better over time. The fourth game I did enjoy, but I only played it once. I will get back around to playing it again another time. Peace Walker I thought was okay. I did like Portable Ops. I know I'm one of the few people that actually does enjoy it. This one would probably fall down there next to 2 and Peace Walker for me. It's an enjoyable game to play, but the story, no. The story is not really that enjoyable for me to go through. So I mean, overall, it has some aspects of it that is interesting, but for the most part, it's really is lackluster, which is a damn shame, because this is Kojima's last game, and I was really hoping he could go out with a fireball of a story, and he kind of didn't. But I also have to mention one other thing here. The game is incomplete. The story is. There's a major plot thread that's just dropped. Eli steals the Mary Sue gear, Salamtropus, or however you pronounce the fucking word. And it's never taken back. Now you can go watch on YouTube episode 51, which was released on the collector's edition, I believe is what it was. If you acquired that, or if you acquire it, and that has the cut content. Also, another thing about this game is that it was supposed to be 3 acts that I understood, and it was supposed to flow a lot more better because of that. to be honest with you, I don't think it would have helped it. The story was already kind of lacking to begin with. I am curious to see what he would have did with it, but I don't know. There's not a lot I can see you could repair here. Well, I mean, there's a lot you could repair here, but I don't really know where you could, what you could have done with what you had here. So I don't know. Overall, I mean, I did enjoy the game. I do recommend it, but know for a fact that this game is great to play, but the story is really lacking. Take what you want out of it. As a score for the storyline, I'm probably gonna have to give it probably a 3. It wasn't anything great. Now, as the overall score total with the 5 and the 3, I'm gonna give it a 4.5, and mostly it's because of gameplay. Like I said, the gameplay is awesome, but the story is not. So that's basically all I can say about the game. It was fun. I'm glad I played it. I probably will play it at some point again, just because the gameplay was a lot of fun, but I don't really think I'll pay much attention to the story. It's not the first game I didn't pay much attention to the story. So that's my review. If you like my review, you know, you can always subscribe or like or comment. If you didn't, well, it's no big deal to me. I do these videos for fun. I got some other things I'm going to be coming up with here soon. We're going to start doing some more movie reviews, and I got a few more video game reviews I want to do as well. As far as my Let's Plays go, I'm having some issues with my video equipment right now and sound. If you've watched the Okage Shadow King ones, you'll notice that there's a lot of problems with the sound. And I rechecked it, and I was like, shit, because when I listen to it on my headphones, it's fine, but when I listen to it on YouTube, it sounds like shit. I'm like, oh, fuck. I'm going to have to go figure out what's going on with my video equipment before I record anything else, which kind of sucks. But whatever. Anyway, I'm kind of just talking out my ass now, or well, I'm just talking as the review's over. So I'm just rambling now. Anyway, I hope you have a good day, and y'all take it easy. And this is Renegade Gamer, and I am signing out.